Hey, Cleaning Nation, Mike Campion here with a fan favorite, Suzanne Bandick. For those of you guys that are new to the podcast, I pretty much talk about what to do and how to do it. And Suzanne talks about what I would say is a much more important thing of how to get yourself to do the things that you know you should do. So we need both, right? If you know everything about exercise and fat and carbs and you are still fat and you don't want to be fat, it's probably because you've got a disconnect between what you know and what you do. And so many people focus on what to do, which is super important, right? We've got hundreds and hundreds of episodes on that, but they overlook, why don't I do the thing that I need to do or I know I need to do? So that's why we have Suzanne, and it's always fun for me and you guys. So today, Suzanne is going to walk through how to develop a can-do attitude to create a respect and appreciation for yourself. And again, for all of you, just tell me how to do a Facebook ad, guys and gals out there. I want to encourage you, certainly to build $1 million cleaning company or beyond, you need how to do ads and how to track customers, super important things. But believe it or not, if I can only pick one as a coach who's coached thousands of people, if I could have someone that had $1 million owner mindset and belief set, or someone that had $1 million business, I'd pick the mindset every time. Because if you take the belief system away from $1 million owner, he's definitely going to take his $1 million company or her $1 million company and shrink it to the level of the belief set he or she has. But if you take the $1 million company away from the owner, but the million or multi-million dollar belief system stays intact, they will very quickly just build it back up again. If you don't believe me, look up, how does winning the lottery affect most people? And you'll see pretty quickly giving or taking money is not going to help if we don't get the mindset and the belief system to go with that. So that said, Suzanne, walk us through how to develop an attitude, that not only helps you experience your business better, but B, helps you have the business that you want.
Awesome. That's exactly the topic, Mike. You nailed it. Score.
Every now and again.
Alrighty. So let's talk about an appreciation for yourself because that will help you create your can-do attitude. Have you ever found yourself saying, I can't do that? Or heard someone else say it? So often we see it more easily in other people. And
Well, let me
again,
give you another example for the 30% out there going, I never say that. Okay, maybe. But have you ever said, well, if I do that, what if? And the what if's never filled with how awesome life's going to be. It's with all the fears. And so that's another insidious version of, I can't do that. Oh, I could do it, but rich people are jerks, or all my employees will quit, or having $1 million company would be so much work. So there's again, that's another look. If you're not the type that's like, oh, I don't just say I can't do that. Well, but you ask yourself a bunch of questions that end up with, that seems too much work, or I don't want to do that. Or that would be, I don't want to do it.
we have lots of roundabout ways of talking,
We're very
of
sneaky
saying
to
that to
ourselves.
ourselves, right? And again, before we lose any listeners who go, I'm just here to learn how to grow a cleaning company,
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that these techniques will actually not only help yourself grow, but help your company grow. And better yet, others are going to treat you better because you treat yourself better.
Mm.
How about that one? How many people have said to me, my employees are not respecting me or not treating me well? Well, let's have a look at how you feel about yourself.
Or give me another one. My customers are all cheap. They just want to pay the lowest price. And we think it's about them. It's like, maybe there's something. It's not all about us, but it ain't all about them either.
What do they say? When the finger points to you, there's three fingers.
Coming back
When the
at you.
finger's pointing someone else, there's three fingers pointing back at you, right?
And that's probably a good ratio. If I keep getting, it's too expensive, it's probably one part them, my finger pointing out, but it's probably three parts that I brought to the party.
Right. So I've got 5 points that, surprise, that I would like to cover. The first one, in creating an appreciation for yourself that helps you move forward and do the things that you need to do. The first point is, please list the things that you feel you do well. And I suggest you own them. All of us, we can very easily say a list of all the things we feel we don't do well. But how often do we say, I can own this, I do this well? Please write it down, own it. It might even come out as some I am statements,
So
right?
let me give you two pushbacks, or not pushbacks, but things
Okay.
that I think people are thinking that I think you'll be able to speak to and make them feel better about this process. One is that's dumb. That's not going to help. So if you just kind of walk through like why and how that would be helpful. And two, which breaks my heart that I really do think there are people who can respond this way. Suzanne, I'm not good at anything, or there's nothing useful to business that I'm good at. Like nothing I'm good at is a value.
Wow, Mike, way to bring me down.
I'm just trying to include some of the people out there that are having these thoughts. And I know that that's not the truth. And I just wanted you to give the opportunity to
Okay.
speak to them.
Okay. Again, it's potentially retraining our mind to think to the positive things, especially if it's been a long time thinking of all the things that we're not good at. It's become a habit. What we want to do is change the habit. The only way you change the habit is to focus on a new thought. So the new thought is, wait a minute, what am I good at? I can be, even if you're good at baking or you're good at cleaning, you can say, I am good at that. I can own that. And whatever it is, whether it connects to business or not, you can parlay that into the rest of your life. You just need to find, I'm good with my dogs. I'm a good mother. I'm a good husband. I'm a good wife. Any of those things can help you progress. As long as you focus on them, it will blend into all the other areas of your life.
It's exactly what I was looking for because I could just picture the mom out there. It's like, I'm really good at cleaning, but I, quote unquote, just been a mom. Like that's nothing, right? Like just create another human being and raise them into the world. And none of that's going to translate. So I love that you mentioned like baking. Um, I don't know how much baking is going to happen in business, but the things that make you good at baking can certainly be translated. And goodness, being a mom is so similar to being a business owner in that you've got to do everything all the time and the buck stops with you almost all, if you're married, obviously there's some support, but a lot of times that guy's not there, right? So I love that. I just wanted people to make the connection of, well, that doesn't make it, of devaluing things that are really valuable and thinking there's no translation to business when it's like, well, there may not, again, no. Are you going to be baking a ton in business? Likely not. But that, or God forbid, spanking people or doing other mom type things. But the thing that makes you a good mom is oftentimes absolutely going to translate to things that'll make you a good leader in other respects.
Right. And that feeling of confidence in any area of your life is what we're looking for.
Okay, so the benefit is I need to acknowledge mastery in some things, which I definitely have, will translate. Does that mean I'm a fully formed, everything's good, and because every good mom's going to be a good? Of course not. But does that mean that we're not starting from zero or even close? Of course it does. So I love that. Thank you so much for clarifying.
Thank you. Okay, so one, list the things you do well. Number two is, what are the things you feel you don't do well? This list is often easier and longer.
Sadly.
When you have the things you feel you don't do well, I'm not a people person. It's hard for me to make a phone call. I'm not good with my numbers. The list goes on, right?
The big one I hear is I'm good at cleaning, but I'm not good at, and I just make a whole catch up business. And no one, and it's fair. No one's ever taught us, but most of the people that are successful in
True.
business don't have a business degree or marketing degree. So that's a big one of just that catch all of I'm good at cleaning, but I'm just not good at business.
Okay. So I'm going to go a little different than what a lot of people will say here. Uh, if you say I'm not good at a specific aspect of the business or something, I'm going to say yes, you do have the option of studying and training to do that.
Mm-hmm.
However, if it doesn't bring you joy, I'm going to suggest that you hire or delegate
Mm-hmm.
that particular role. Because again, when you think about the most successful CEOs or business owners, do you really think they've mastered everything? Do you really think they're good at everything? Not a chance.
You and I are a perfect example of that, Suzanne. I wish I could say, oh, I do my tactical job well and I do Suzanne's job really well. And I just, I ran out of capacity, right? I just didn't want to do that job. Suzanne could run circles around me. I'm like, well, I said it quietly, and then they didn't do it, and then I yelled it at them, and they still didn't do it. My tool bag's empty. Like I've done what I know how to do. So 100%. And does that mean Suzanne, I'm less than, or Suzanne looks at me as no, she admires and respects the skills that I have. And I wildly, because to me, it's like magic what she does. And it's awesome, right? Because I can just defer to her with no lack of ego or shame or embarrassment. I'm the boss and I got to know. I can think I know everything, but Suzanne's going to fall for that till we speak. And she's going to know that just full of crap. So it's so much more graceful for me to be like, oh my gosh, Suzanne, that skill that you have, I would love to have, but I don't. And I admire it in you. And just give her the space to go, oh, so I guess Mike's not omnipotent. Yeah, I kind of figured that prior to us meeting, and now he's confirmed it. So I love that. I just want to encourage you owners, not only just to like begrudgingly, like, well, I'm not good at numbers. And again, do I have to know enough about business mindset mentality to make sure that Suzanne can do a good job? And she's like, I can't be completely ignorant about this, but it's totally okay for me to go, yeah, I get, like, especially with accountants, perfect example. Like you can't just be like, I don't know anything about this. Like I just completely delegated, or not even delegate, just dump it on my accountant and run like heck. That's not going to work. But it's okay if you're like, it just drives me nuts and sucks the life out of me, do all these numbers all gosh darn day. Well, I'll pay someone else that's like, numbers, I'm so excited. And you might go, that guy doesn't exist. Or they do by the millions. They're out there. So such a great point of, yeah, it's okay to, I'm guessing if I spent the time that Suzanne spent, we're equally generally intelligent. I could probably figure it out, but I wouldn't because I don't have the passion that she does to a degree, but not like she does. So it's like, why not just let Suzanne be amazing at what she's good at, as opposed to me going beat myself into working really hard and maybe getting 68% as good as her, not because I'm not as smart, just because I'm not as passionate, right? And same with the business stuff. She kind of likes the tactical to a degree, but not, she doesn't go to nerd town like I do. And it's fine. We can just both play our roles.
So again, people are actually going to respect you more when you surround yourself with other people who are good in other areas. So please don't hesitate to just go ahead and be head on. Look at the things that you feel you don't do well and either learn a bit about them or delegate them or hire someone.
Love that. Mike Campion here. Do you ever listen to the podcast and go, this is great information, I just wish I could actually get it implemented and I wish I could get some help? Well, we do that. If you would like either myself or my team's help actually coming up with a plan that's specialized to you and your business, because with these podcasts, obviously we have to be very general and we can only go 20 minutes at a time. If you'd like to jump on a call with myself or my team, go to growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. We'll jump on a call. There's no charge. And we'll help you get some absolute clarity around exactly what to do next and how to do it. The reason we don't charge for these calls is the plan that we come up with, people want help implementing that. If that's the case, we're happy to talk about it. And if it's not, that's okay too. We're happy to just help you come up with a plan. So if you want to translate the information you're learning here into an actual plan that can change your life, give us a ring, growmycleaningcompany.com/talk. Love to either myself or have one of our coaches walk you through and actually personalize the content you get here to where you're at with your business. Talk soon.
Number 3, as I've talked about before, I want to talk about some I am statements, okay? We are talking about creating an appreciation for yourself. So the I am statements, the things that we repeat to ourselves, most often are the things we start to believe. So again, you could say things, even if you don't feel you're totally there yet, if you desire to feel calm and relaxed in all situations, you could say that to yourself. I am calm and relaxed, or I am confident. You can say these things, and the more you repeat them to yourself, it's almost like breathing them in, centering yourself. You start to show up like that. You're not even going to say to someone, I am calm and relaxed, but all of a sudden people are going to start saying to you, wow, you're calmer than normal. You go, ooh, cool, it's working. Okay. The things to remember when you do I am statements, call them the 3 Ps. You want them to be powerful, positive, and personal. Okay. And no future tense.
Mm.
The mind only works in present tense.
Suzanne, you missed an obvious one. The four P's: powerful, positive, personal, and present. It's right there. Come on,
Oh,
Suzanne. That's
thank
a
you, Mike.
rare swing and a miss from my friend
See, and
Suzanne.
I keep telling everybody you're a genius and you keep just, is that one of your I am statements? Does that have anything to do with a book you wrote? I am a freaking genius?
Well, and just to be clear, because I'm trying not to be, arrogance is not attractive to me. So my book title is "I'm a freaking genius. Why is this business so hard?" And I'm speaking in terms of the reader being the genius, feeling that their life is hard. I am not a genius. Don't claim to be a genius. Don't even play one on a
I,
podcast. So just to be clear, really has some
okay,
good skill sets, but the genius, it's not a
okay,
mantle I'm willing to take.
okay, but really, Mike, that's part of this whole thing. We are not taught to own our specialness,
Mm.
even to be playful with it. People will say to you, "Oh, you're bragging." No, I'm going to say give yourself some permission, especially, okay, you don't have to run around the street and announce to people how great you are, but you can sure say it to yourself in your house.
Mm.
Own
I'm gonna
it
have to think on
there.
that because I really
Pardon?
think I'm gonna have to think on that because I 100% agree. We make I am statements all day, every day, or we
Hmm.
strengthen I am beliefs. And if we don't do it intentionally, a lot of times it's going to be, you hear this 1,000 times on social media. You're comparing your, Tuesday in your underpants on a sofa with this guy's once in a lifetime trip to Europe, or whatever the case may be. And obviously those can, even the I am questions. Why am I so dumb? Why is my life so boring? Why, we can really twist these things. So I am 100% behind you that that's not ever appropriate. But I'm also very aware, and I think part of this is my spiritual beliefs, but part of it's just my personality. I really don't want to ever be prideful or arrogant. I think it's a really unattractive quality. So there's kind of that, I won't say line, but sweet spot of being a pretty, like, Suzanne is very complimentary, and I do my best. Like, thank you, I really appreciate that. Not be like false. Oh, Suzanne, don't say. But there's some things I'm like, I really don't think I'm not. I think I'm smart. I got lots of gifts. I'm not saying I'm a loser. I have nothing to offer. But yeah, I just want to. Yeah, you feel free to comment. But I'm going to
Okay.
think through, like, what's the difference between positive, helpful, empowering statements versus prideful statements. And I think pride is a disempowering emotion.
Okay. I get 100% where you're coming from. However, the the statement out in the street, if you told everybody, "I'm a genius, I'm good at everything." Yeah, okay, there's pride in boastful. But if you're feeling your confidence, if you are owning the things that you do well, Mike, and you feel your confidence, then you've got that can-do attitude. Nothing can stop you. It's
Let me
owning it. Because if you disregard it because you say, "I don't want to be prideful," then you're going to dismiss the very things that make you successful and end up helping other people.
let me give a distinction. Tell me if you'd agree.
Mm.
Because I do believe, like, again, I like the genius thing because I just would say categorically, I'm
And
not.
by the way, it's 100% okay because I said it, you didn't.
Yeah, yeah, and it's yeah. I'm not saying like I can't, I have to be a jerk and like always like no, I'm not. We're only because we're brought. Had you said that in real life, I would have just said, especially not in front of a crowd, I would have just taken it and said thank you. But when it's
Yes.
broadcast, I'm like, hold on, I'm not willing. I don't want the record to state. People are calling Mike a genius. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. So the distinction I would make, and tell me if you think this is helpful for obviously not just me, but the audience is, if I'm owning my own something that I'm good at uniquely well, that's great. There's lots of stuff I'm good at, and it makes me happy, and I'm proud of those in a healthy way. I think where the negativity of pride comes in is when it starts moving into comparing myself with others. So if I'm just like, I'm really good at this, and I go, yeah, I'm way better than Suzanne. I'm much smarter than her. She's kind of a knucklehead, but I'm not as smart as Elon. He's at, like, that's where it kind of gets into, I don't know that it's helpful for anybody, but if I just own I'm a smart guy, or I'm a this guy, or I'm a that guy, whatever the case may be. And I do think there's a reality, right? I don't like the whole like over here. I'll get myself in real trouble now. Um, we all have our different strengths and weaknesses. And I'm not a girl, but if I was, I'd say I was an average looking or okay, or maybe a not very good looking girl. Hearing other girls be like, "You're beautiful" all the time, I'd be like, "You're full of crap." It doesn't mean that I don't have some sort of beauty or there's this or there's that. I just don't like I don't like the false. There's certain things I'm good at and certain things I'm not great at. And I'm okay focusing on things I'm good at, but I don't like telling myself things that aren't true because then I don't believe the other stuff that is true because like, well, we're just lying to ourselves. So I guess the distinction would be I want to make powerful I am statements that are tethered to truth, right? Because there's obviously, I'm smart or really smart or good looking or very good. Like there's all these nuances. All right, we can play within there. But I'm not an NBA quality basketball player. That's for gosh darn sure. So I
Right.
think making positive statements good, comparing myself to others, not even with the beauty, right? If I was a girl, I'd
Right.
be like, does my husband think I'm beautiful? Do I have qualities of my great mom? And am I going to be on the cover of Vogue? Probably not. And I'm just going to be okay with that. Like it doesn't, I don't like people being like, but it's okay. And you're this. I'm like, I'm not. I've got other strengths. It's okay. Thought, Susan. I feel like I'm being so contentious today.
There's an amazing book. I'm trying to think, Ruiz. The name of the author is Ruiz, and it's The Four Agreements. And one of the things that I've lived by is no comparing, no competing, no labeling, no judging.
I love that.
And I think that helps take care of that scenario for all of our listeners.
Okay. So we can just be
We can own our power, but there's no reason to compare or compete.
because there's always going to be someone better at anything. There's always going to be someone worse. So it's like, what are we doing? Like, why do we, and we're going to focus on someone that's not as good at us and feel good about ourselves. Like that doesn't help, or
Mm.
focus on someone that's better at it and feel bad about ourselves. Like, well, that's not helpful.
And if anything, to use our strengths to help other people is a magnificent thing.
Yeah. And we're
But
unique. Like
if we don't acknowledge our strengths, how do we help empower others?
such a good point. All right. So I love that. I
Okay.
think if we can really own the things that we're good at and just not worry about, are we better than this guy or worse than that gal? And just be like, here's what I'm good at. Here's what I've got to bring to the world. And
Right.
Suzanne's got her own package and it's a great package. I don't need her package. I got my package. It's fine. I'm
And
not going to worry about it.
it's very interesting to own that. I'm not good at everything, but I'm really good at this.
Yeah.
Right? Okay,
All
good.
right.
So
I
we've
think I
got
think we
I
got
am
there. Big and
statements.
hug. We got it.
Number four, this ties in. Act the way you define yourself. Okay, so I'm going to talk about because I deal a lot with sometimes people who don't feel confident.
Mm,
Okay. Now, I would suggest to anybody who doesn't feel confident, simply make a statement. I am confident, or potentially, I grow more confident every day.
mm,
Because sometimes we need the bridge. So the confident statement, even when you say it to yourself several times, it changes the way your physiology even is.
mhm.
Okay, so my I sat up straighter, my shoulders went back. I'm just talking about being confident. So try to be aware so that you can act a little bit more how you define yourself. You're going to find the two start to click, and you do indeed become more confident. And
Well,
number
because you do
five,
things that you can point to. I did that because I was confident. Therefore, like it's a very positive circle. Because if you start shoulders back, head up, I'm a confident human being, and you start looking for examples of you being confident, you shall find them, and then you can reinforce the initial belief.
right. And your mind always looks for proof that you are right. That is such an important point to remember. That if you're saying negative things to yourself, your mind is going to find the ways that you're right, because our mind wants us to be brilliant.
Yeah.
So you might as well say the good stuff, because then your mind is going to say, yep, you're right. And it's going to
Mm.
find the proof. Even I'm wealthy, you find money on the ground, it says, yeah, you're right. Okay. Number five, give yourself whatever you have been waiting for someone else to give you. Again, we're talking about appreciation of self. And when I first made this notation, I thought, well, I'm not going to talk about things, but you know what? If you're waiting for somebody to give you flowers and you buy yourself flowers, what better way to show self-love, right? So if you're looking for respect or kind words or acknowledgement or appreciation, give those to yourself. Stop waiting for somebody else to give them to you.
And to others, I think. If you all the things that you mentioned, whether it comes to flowers or kind words, I find you become a giver of those things, and that shows up. And I would
It
also
comes
say,
back.
I've shared this before, but for most of you guys and gals that own cleaning companies, $1 million business is a goal for those of you who haven't reached it. And I've shared several times. I don't remember my first. I had the same thing. I was super like once every million because I'll be real, and I had all these things I had made up, and you probably got your things. None of them were true. I didn't get the banner in the mail. People didn't look at me different. I didn't grow an inch taller. I didn't feel anything. Didn't even god dang recognize it because I was already focused on what would 2 million be. And the crazy thing is the guy doing 10 grand thinks he'll feel better at 20 grand than the gal at 20 grand. She thinks, well, I just hit 50 grand, but there's a guy there and he doesn't care about that. He's at 100, and it goes on and on until the end of time. So you could just give yourself that, since no one's really going to give you a medal or a t-shirt or a banner. You could just go, well, say you're at 20 grand, pick a thing, whatever. There's a lot of people out there that are like, man, if I had 20 grand, I would be happy. And there was a time before I was at 20 grand, I thought when I got to 20 grand, I'd be happy. So why not just give myself that happiness now? Doesn't mean I can't go to 40, 60, 80, whatever the case is, but I don't have to make my happiness dependent on that. I can just be like, I'm successful right here, right now. I live in a great country. I can eat food, drink water, walk the streets. Like there's so much going on. Why not just enjoy it today? Why not give myself the happiness or the feeling, as opposed to waiting for some arbitrary at $1 million, then I'll be happy. Like good luck with that. All right. Anything else, Suzanne? Or we feel like we wrapped it?
That's it. Master this, and you will help yourself and your business.
And I would say, being half old now at 50, equally, if not more important, half old. I'm not all the way old yet, but I can see it from here. I would advocate the way that you experience your business during the time is as important or more important than the destination. So not only will these skill sets or these actions and activities Suzanne brought get you to your goal faster, you'll enjoy the ride a lot more, which I think is a big deal. All right, Cleaning Nation. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you're like, this has been great, but you and Suzanne talk to each other. I want someone to talk to me. I need specialized help about my situation. You don't understand. That's all we do all day, every day, is try and help owners of cleaning companies. So feel free to reach out. We've got a ton of free content. Obviously, we have clients. We'll help you best we can. Would love to speak with you. Just reach out. Instagram, you can email me, mike@growmycleaningcompany.com. Say, hey, talk soon. See ya. Hey, Cleaning Nation, if you dug the content you just got, we don't do any ads and I don't sell anything on this podcast, but if you would just subscribe, rate, and review, it would be huge, and I'd be so appreciative. Not only is it going to help me, but you'll help other owners of cleaning companies across the world work less, make more, and get profitable. So if you appreciate the value we give, again, subscribe, rate, and review. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it, and we sure appreciate your time and attention.